I hit the live button, so we should be up and running. I'm gonna give people just a couple of minutes to get in here. Let's see, I need to change a couple of settings to make sure I can see everything. I've got to pull up the chat list. Speaking of chat, I did put the settings up on chat so that you have to be a subscriber, and I'm hoping that will keep out any weirdos from commenting things. I don't have a good way to moderate things because it's just me, so if I miss something, I don't want any weird stuff happening in the chat. I see Lynn popped up. Hi Lynn, it's good to see you here. I'm glad you could make it. I wasn't sure how many people would be able to make it. My lives will have to work around my husband's work schedule because we do share space, and I can't pick up any of his work audio in the background because his company needs to keep their things private. So I was checking for cat hair. The cats are in the background. Let's see. Can we see that one? Sleeping over there. And we've got the new cat tower. One is up there out of view. So we'll have some. They were very, very rowdy just a minute ago, so they've finally settled down. So we shouldn't have too much antics in the background. All right, I can see my chat. I can see myself. I think we are ready to go. So if you missed this live, it will be up and recorded. So it will be here. Hopefully this all goes smoothly. I think this is the first one that I haven't really prepped anything for. So this is going to be a full mystery box experience. I will go ahead and grab my mystery box, which is right over there. I haven't even opened it yet, so I have no idea what's inside. Let me get this out of the way. That's my keyboard to help me control all the computer bits. And we will roll over here and grab the mystery box, which means I need to change my view. There we go. So now we can see me and the box. I am zoomed in a little bit here because that gives you a better view, and it means I have to do my box sideways so I can get it on camera. My plan is to be here for an hour, so I will get as much done as I can in that hour. And then if I don't complete the project in that time frame, I will finish it and then post pictures afterwards. So let's go ahead and dive into this box and see what we have going on. Let's see, I have to go around the private portion here because I don't want my address up on the internet. So this box is from Simon Says Stamp. If you missed my previous live, I did my very first live in December in preparation for doing this project for 2025. So this box is from Simon Says Stamp. Once a year they do a box of kind of overstock, discontinued goodies, and deeply discounted, very heavy full box. I have no idea what's in here. It's going to be lots of different types of products. So I'm going to reach in. Feels like we have, you can probably hear that. Let me mute it for a second. See if this works. Okay, we have the packaging material, which is very loud, and I'm glad I muted because my alarm to make sure I didn't miss my live just went off. All right, now I've got my volume back on and I can reach in and pull out the first thing I feel, which is Ideology Mini Stencil Chips. Okay, so I see it looks like an alphabet set, stencil style. So these probably could be used for stenciling, or they could just be used as an alpha set on their own. So that's item number one. Okay, something flat. Edge of a packaging. Getting these things out of the box without looking is a little bit of a challenge. Oop, I think I tore it. Here we go. Okay, it was the edge of a packaging I was feeling, but we have a Tri-Blend alcohol marker, the Spectrum Noir brand, and we've got some shades of pinks, magenta blend. I know I have a magenta one already, but if I remember correctly, I don't have these numbers, so we're going to be doing some alcohol coloring, and then something else flat, very flimsy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, so this is what I'm worried about going live. We have some kind of zipper pocket. Yes. Okay, it is like a goodie bag zipper pocket for filling up with treats or something for the holidays. All right, let's get our creative juices going here, people. Okay, I'm gonna set this back over on my shelf. All right, so initially what I'm thinking is, okay, this little guy I think is gonna need a scarf. We'll probably make that out of some kind of paper and do some coloring on it. Oh, I have an idea. Striped scarf. So I have, oh, I gotta find it. I've got a few little tool bins here in front of me. So this is my favorite stamp for journaling on scrapbook pages. This I think would make a nice stamp to do some stripes to give this guy a little scarf, and then we'll do some coloring in of that. Let's see, maybe, let me go ahead and open these. Maybe we can alternate like an M for Mary and a C for Christmas as stencils on this scarf. Let's see what we've got in here. I'm guessing there's a full alphabet, and it looks like we have at least one punctuation. These are just really pretty, so even if I use them as stencils, I'll probably wipe them down and then reuse them as an alpha set for a special project. So let me find, oh, there are numbers in here too. So maybe we could do a 25. I'm just thinking out loud here, so make sure I'm staying on camera. Let's do a 25, and then let's find the M and the C for Merry Christmas. Are they? They seem to be in alphabetical order, so C should be right there. Okay, and then J, K, L, M. I really do know my alphabet as long as I sing it. Okay, so I'm just gonna put all this stuff off to the side. I'm not gonna bother cleaning. I'm just going to keep the space tidy so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so this guy needs a scarf. I did think about doing it with tissue paper for two reasons. One is the tissue paper in, trying not to make the mic blow out there. One is the tissue paper in the box. I do use tissue paper for various projects. I'm worried that's going to be a little too lightweight for coloring. Okay, you know, let me just grab some printer paper. I think that might be a better weight for doing wrapping around his neck, unless I just, you know, I thought I would wrap all the way around, and I will, because this is an entire gift bag. The recipient will see both sides of it, so I want to wrap the scarf all the way around and make it look continuous like a scarf. So we definitely want to do that. I think while I'm getting my paper, I'm going to get maybe some twine, and we'll add some twine to it, and maybe some sparkly gems or some sparkly brads. I know I have some of those. So I'm going to mute this for just a moment so you don't hear me rustling around, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got my stack of supplies here. When I was in there, I found this twine, which you can use alcohol markers on other surfaces. Sometimes fabrics will bleed and wick a little bit more than paper. The paper you use for alcohol markers also matters. Some papers will bleed and wick out more than others. So printer paper may not be the best choice here, but that's what I've got. So let's do a little test swatch of these. So let me get my marker open. Oh, they have an easy way to open it. I have a lot of Copic markers that I started collecting when Copic started becoming big in crafting, and so I'm not used to other packages here. Let's get that off screen, out of the way. Okay, so we have a light color, a mid color. Sometimes markers will kind of burp when you first open them because of the pressure differences when they're being shipped around, especially if they're flown places. Ooh, I like that color. Ooh, that is pretty. Okay, so the paper's doing okay. Let's do a little bit of coloring. I'm going to color over the white stripe on here because that'll give me a better base to get a more true color. Let's see what happens. Also, it's a printed, almost an ink or a paint on this particular ribbon, and so it might wick less. Let's see. Let's try all the colors. You can just leave alcohol markers sitting open while you're doing a coloring session so that you don't have to uncap them and recap them constantly. But I just used to, I think I used that side already. I'm just used to always putting caps back on, so. Okay, I'm not quite a baby pink person, so I'm not sure I like that color. It is bleeding out a little bit. Not sure if that's my messy coloring or if that's actually the material bleeding out. Let's try it one more time. Let's wrap it around his neck and see what we think. I might skip the paper altogether and just give him a cute little square. Let's do this. Let's just do this. Sometimes these crafting projects are not so much, oh, thank you, Lynn. She said it will make a cute scarf. I think let's go for it. Sometimes these crafty sessions are not about overthinking things, and I am a huge overthinker. So that's part of why I do this. Mostly I do it just because it's really silly. I really love, you know, that cooking show. I don't want to say names because I don't know how much YouTube will be hurt by that, but the cooking show where they have their mystery baskets of ingredients and they have 3 surprise ingredients that they have to put to use. So this was totally based on that cooking show. All right, I have changed gears and I'm not going to need the paper or the stamp, but if you are coloring with alcohol markers and stamps, make sure your stamping ink is alcohol friendly. So Memento inks work, and then the Gina K amalgam inks. She has other black inks, but the amalgam black works for alcohol markers too, and that's what I have sitting here at my desk when I do those kinds of projects. This was the ribbon or the twine that I went to grab originally, and I grabbed this because it was next door. We might add a little bit of an extra piece to that. And then let's see. Oh, I didn't think about getting this on this ribbon. This is gonna be, okay, since this is my little test piece here, let's go ahead and see if this is gonna be too bleeding for, now this marker will kind of stain the edges of this slick shiny surface because alcohol markers are made to go on non-porous surfaces. We could even draw straight on this plastic and it takes a minute to dry, but it will dry and be permanent on the plastic. if you make a mistake on plastic, you can erase it with a basic alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, and I keep a spray bottle of that here for cleaning up when I'm working on alcohol projects. So let's see. That's actually not too bad. I mean, there's a little bit of bleed through from the back side of the scarf, but I kind of like that. So if we cut off some extra pieces and do an M and a C, and then maybe use this to dangle them from the scarf, I'm thinking that'll work. So let me set these up so that they can finish drying while I do other things. Hello, we have Maganels. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name. Maganels, also Vision. Welcome. Glad to see you here. And let me know if I've pronounced your name wrong, because I probably did. I am going ahead and using this as a stencil. And so we've got our C here. Let's give this, okay, I'm going to use these scissors. I'm going to give this a straight snip. And then let's go ahead and give this a banner end here. Now, ribbons will ravel. You can put a little bit of glue. Let me see, that's getting right onto my thumb now, isn't it? You can put a little bit of glue, and that's what I'm going to do. Let me bring this paper back in as a scratch. You can put a little bit of glue onto the end of ribbons and twines and things like that, and kind of tap it in. Make sure it's not sticking to your paper, but just kind of tap that in place, and that will help prevent it from raveling over time. And let's do the same thing. I'm going to leave some space at the top so we can maybe punch a hole for this dangling idea. But let me give a little bit of glue to that edge as well. That'll help. Now I am working faster as I do these projects, so you might want to take your time and work a little more carefully. And I had a little bit of a strand popping out there, so try and tuck those all down and set them aside to dry. Let's go ahead and do our M. Ooh, this one's even wider than the C. I did not consider that when let's see. Okay, so this may not end up working. You get to see live crafting. I did not test the M before. I'm wondering if I could piece this together. If I do part of the M and then move it over, let me try that. I'm going to do part of the M over here. And I'm just going to keep my ink to the edge of the stencil, and it's going to use the full width of my marker. So I'm not going to fill in, it's hard to see, I'm not going to fill in the full gap. I'm just going to go one marker width, and then when I move this over, I can line up the edge of my stencil with the edge of the ribbon, and I can see the straight line of the bottom edge of my M. So I can kind of work my M to fit. Let's see. Okay, we don't have enough of the downward motion, and now it looks more like an N. Okay, take two. Let's try it one more time. And if this doesn't work, I will move on to maybe doing it straight on the packaging. So let's try this one more time and see if we can get it. Keeping an eye on my time so I don't hold you more past that hour mark. Okay, so in there, let's get this downward swoop going. And then, since we've got that downward swoop going, let me keep my marker to this edge. Okay, so far so good. Let's see if we can finish this up. I think some of that M is going to be cut off on this edge. Let's see. Okay. What do I want to do? I am not liking that, that's for sure. Although my M, third time's a charm. Okay, real quick, and then otherwise I will shift gears to just doing it on the bag. Okay, so I think I need to set this down swoop of my M much closer to this left edge so that we get that down swoop connected. And that actually looks like it lines up the rest of the letter to fit better on this edge. Okay, let me cut this and see if I like it. Okay, we'll do our little fishtail banner again. Let's see, I was able to snip it that way, okay. Cutting fibers can be tricky, and having a good pair of scissors that's made for fabric is nice. I do sew, but my fabric scissors are kind of across the room, so I'm not going to go get them right now. These ones are kind of multi-purpose scissors. I use them for a lot of things. Okay, and then a little bit of top. And then let's do that glue trick again. Okay, I'm not too worried about getting glue on my fingers because it will just dry and then you can just roll your fingers and it rubs off. So I'm not too worried about that. Okay, I think I'm mostly happy with that M. Okay, let's get this mess out of the way. Let's go ahead and do the 25 on our snowman so you can see what alcohol markers look like on the plastic. We'll send his scarf off this way with the Merry Christmas maybe swooping. So we'll do 25 down here. You know, we just got done with Christmas, but we're going back. We're going back in time. Okay. So alcohol markers directly on plastic can be a little streaky. They look nice and clean on paper, but they get a little bit streaky on plastic, so you will have to live with some of that imperfection. I have a little boo-boo, but I can clean that up with a little cotton swab with alcohol on it, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. And so far I'm just liking this nice dark color on this marker, so I'm going to stick with that. Okay, oop, that may have smeared it because it smeared just a little bit, but again, I will go and clean that up with some plain alcohol. If we have time towards the end, I will show that part. So I am going to, I think, cut off this part because that was my test part. I am only going to, on camera, color a couple of these stripes that will be in the front because I don't want you to sit here watching me color. There's no point in that. So I will do a couple of stripes on each side, and then we'll bring in our other twine, we'll bring in our letters, and then I did grab some sparkly bits. We have some pink pearls. That might be fun. I'll leave those sitting out, so we'll look through that in a minute. Let me just do a couple of these stripes, and I will start. Let's see, I'm going to open everything up, set the cap aside, and I'm going to start with my darkest. Actually, here's a better thought. I am going to count. Usually if I try counting, I often miss something, but here we go. This is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3. And that's back to 1. So that's going to give us a good section. While I've got this color open, well, if I do the other side, the color pattern might get off on the end. How about if I go 1, 2, there we go, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is where everything starts looking the same after I keep counting. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we can color this side. So how was everybody's holidays, New Year's, and if you celebrate Christmas, your Christmas time? Or I know Hanukkah lined up with Christmas very well this year, so maybe some of you celebrate Hanukkah or other holidays. I know I was a chicken raiser for a long time, and so the winter solstice was made me very happy because I knew the chickens would start laying eggs again soon because their egg laying cycles depend on the amount of daylight hours. So when you hit winter solstice, you're starting to increase those daylight hours again. And then you know the egg season is coming up pretty soon. But I had raccoons come through and ate most of my chickens, so I gave the remaining chickens to a friend who lives more out in the country, and because she's out in the country, she has a very good electric fence set up. So I gave my chickens to her. I had 2 left, and I sent them off to her to hopefully be safer from the wild animals than they were here at my house. I live in town, but I live next to a freeway, and there's a big berm there, and the raccoons come through. And actually, there's like a drainage pipe that goes through the berm from my property out to the highway, and they were living in there for a while. Let's see, I'm not going to do that one. Oh, but let's do the other side. So yeah, well, we're going to keep this color right next to the dark one, just because that's how I started the other side. Oh, wait. No, that's right. Okay, that's right. So yeah, the raccoons used to live here, and I've had them devastate my flocks in the past. And the last time they did it was in 2019. They came through and ate during the day. A mama with her babies came through and ate my poor chickens, and so I was out of chickens. And then 2020 happened, and we were all stuck at home, and chickens were a hot item. And I had to stand in lines at the feed stores to get some of the breeds I wanted. But I went back to keeping chickens in 2020, and they lasted 4 years because of the raccoons. So, and again, they were coming out during the day. It's like I keep them locked up at night. But when they come out during the day, it's really hard to defend against that. And raccoons are smart. They're very agile. They can climb a lot of fences and whatnot. So yeah, those guys are pretty sneaky. All right, so I've done just a little bit of this. All right. Oh, that's looking kind of cute. That's looking kind of cute. All right, like I said, I think I want to shift it to the left more so that we can see down here. Now, I don't want to do this all too permanently because I do want to take this off and finish it off camera. Oops, I didn't put my glue away. So let's see. Let me cut off a nice big piece so that we have room to tie. Do I want to tie it this way? I think I do. So has anybody else ever kept chickens? Or do you have any other pets at home? What are your pets? What are your animals? Like I said at the beginning, I've got my cats, and We got 2 kittens at the very end of July last year, and they have been super cute. Our one old man cat is not as thrilled as the rest of us in the family, and he's having a really hard time. He stopped beating them up finally. That was worrisome to navigate because I was worried he would just continue to be aggressive, but we've gotten through that hump, and now he's just expressing his unhappiness in other ways that we've got to deal with. All right, that is super cute. I like that. Okay, do I want to put one of these? Oh, these ones are sticky. They're not, well, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stick it on there. I know it will have to come off later when I finish my coloring of my scarf, but I will stick it on for now, and then I'll just add some glue to it when I have to redo it. All right, that is super cute. Let's see, what else do we want to do? Okay, since we still have some time, let me go ahead and show you how to clean up these little boo-boos. To figure out where my Q-tips are. Okay, I'm gonna put you on mute, and I think I know where my Q-tips are. All right, I found them. I was getting a little worried that I'd put them in a different spot. They were just one drawer up from where I thought they would be. So I am going to contain the alcohol on a tray. So I'm just going to put a little squirt of alcohol down here and roll my Q-tip in that so that I have a little bit of control. There we go. And then, so I didn't really show you the before, but there is what it looks like after. So I cleaned up the smudgy that happened in here and here. So alcohol inks are nice because you can do them on plastic and you can clean up mistakes. You can, depending on the color of alcohol marker, you can clean off the whole thing. You might get some ghosting back there, but you can attempt to clean off the whole thing and just redo it. Let's see, Lynn says you get to cat sit for your daughter's 2 cats. I think I remember you showing, did you do a scrapbook layout about that, Lynn, of cat sitting your cats? I think I remember seeing that during one of the loads. So yeah, I love cats. They are my favorite. We had a dog for a while, and when I was growing up, we had all kinds of animals, rabbits and cats and dogs and various things. And I thought I was a dog person until, yeah, Lynn says yes, she did do that scrapbook layout. I thought I remember seeing it. Yeah, I thought I was a dog person until we got a dog. It doesn't help that the dog was very neurotic. She barked at leaves blowing. She hated other people. She hated other dogs. And then we had a challenging situation I won't go into where she had to stay with somebody else for a couple of weeks because of life challenges, and so she was right in that training zone when she kind of got pushed off to somebody else. So it was not a good experience. Yeah, so I'm a cat person, not a dog person. All right, you know what? I think I'm just gonna stick with that for now, and we will wrap up early. We made it in way less time than I thought it would take. So I think that's it. If you guys have any questions for me or want to know more about this mystery box, I used to call it Mystery Box Monday, and I'll probably make that mistake again because I've changed the name to Mystery Box Makes. so that I can do them whenever it fits the schedule. And I probably won't have a lot of heads up on when I will be here going live because, like I said in the beginning, I do have to work around my husband's schedule. He's currently recovering from a minor surgery, and it's taking him a little bit longer to recover than we expected. So I'm popping in here live kind of unexpectedly, knowing that he wasn't going to be up for working again today. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Lynn says that's cute. All right. I think it's pretty cute too. I was very worried about this snowman, but this will probably sit in, we keep a bin of reusable wrapping items and for Christmas time, and this will, I think, go up in that bin. Even though it's see-through, you can add some tissue paper to it and stuff it in there, and that would make a really cute item for wrapping. So this will get stored away in that bin. All right, I think if nobody has any questions, then I will say that's it for this time, and glad that you could catch me live. And if you're catching the replay, do drop me a comment and answer all the questions about your pets or how your holidays were, all that good stuff. And I will see everybody in a future video. So thanks for being here. Oh, let me switch back to my face camera. This is what I forgot to do last time as I was wrapping up and saying goodbye. So yeah, thanks so much for being here, and thank you, Lynn and Megan Els. I hopefully not butchering your name too badly. Thank you guys for popping in and being here. So have an artful day, and I will see you in the future.